Florida has the most beautiful beaches where many condominiums are located. Maybe not located directly on the coast, but up to 3 miles away for a leisurely bike ride to just enjoy what Florida has to offer. Well, if you're considering purchasing a condo in Florida, there is critical information you need to know and ask before moving forward. If you don't do this, it could place you in financial ruin and your dreams of living in paradise will be the complete opposite. So this is a warning. Remember the saying, buyers beware. It couldn't be more true, especially in this case with the information I'm about to give you. So in this video, I will explain what you need to ask and physically review before signing anything. I want you to be very prepared and up to date with what's happening with the condo market in Florida. Well, first, I'm Maria Wells, and I help buyers and sellers on the Treasure Coast of Florida. So please subscribe and hit the bell to receive my videos, which are released every Tuesday with all sorts of real estate information. Living in a condo can be a wonderful experience. You don't do any of the maintenance on the outside. It is a sort of a lock and go property for those who want to travel or make it their second home. Well, many of the developments even have tons of activities and lots of great people to socialize with. And typically they are in the most beautiful areas of the beach and the coast, and the HOA fees are or were generally reasonable. However, the condo market in Florida absolutely changed on July 24th, 2021. That is when the Champlain Towers in Surfside collapsed, killing many people. Well, at that point in time, the state of Florida took action and looked at the condominium market, where many buildings are 25 or more years old. And last year, Chapter 718 of the Florida Statute, the Condominium Act, was placed into law to protect consumers. Well, that is a good thing. However, you need to be aware that it comes with a very high price tag. The legislation requires a milestone structural inspection for buildings with 6 units or more and 3 stories and higher. And that even includes if the garage is the first floor, that is the first floor going up. And they must have an inspection once they've reached 30 years old, unless that building is located within 3 miles of the coastline. Then it is at 25 years, and then every subsequent 10 years after that for all of the buildings. Well, this is to inspect the structural integrity of the building to determine if the building is safe enough to be inhabited, along with the integrity of the roof, plumbing, and rebar. These inspections must be completed by December 31st of 2024. Then the repairs that are found in the report must be done within 365 days of the findings. In addition, this law also prohibits condominium associations from using reserves for a purpose other than what it was intended for. Associations can no longer waive reserves or reduce funding of reserves for structural components. Reserves must be 100% funded. And you're probably saying, well, I thought that's what happens. Well, in a perfect world, the answer is yes. But many condos wanted to reduce fees, and a lot of times that was the reserves took the hit. So it's sort of like our personal savings accounts. Some people ensure that they always place funds in their savings account, and some say, I will do it later. As the saying goes, every dog has its day, and here we are. Now it has to be paid. So the reserves must be fully funded with 10% of the operating budget in reserves at all times. So for all the years that owners didn't think it was essential and didn't put money aside, now either new owners or the current owners are having to come up with a lot of money. Well, this milestone structural inspections are not inexpensive and must be done by either an engineer or an architect and submitted to the owners and posted on that condominium's website. In addition, with the Florida insurance crisis, roofs must be either replaced at 15 years or verified that they have at least 5 more years of useful life left in them to be able to be insured. This is placing facing a whole other significant burden. Plus, flood insurance has risen for condominiums, make this even more costly. It's like the perfect storm. Well, all of this is creating havoc for many owners with a massive surprise of future condo costs. I had a client recently call me who bought his condo from me about 11 years ago for a really good price to tell me he has to move. Well, I knew what he was going to say. It was that the HOA fees are tripling. Plus, he also told me that there's a special assessment for each homeowner of a minimum of $15,000, which they haven't totally calculated, for the roof to be replaced for them to be able to insure the buildings. He thought it was only them, and I explained what I just told you, but the unfortunate part is he's retired, and this is a financially devastating blow to him on what he's going to do for his housing. Well, if you are buying a condo, please make sure to ask if they have had this milestone inspection, and if so, get a copy. Are there going to be any special assessments from the findings? Get a copy of the financial records of the building. That is very common to ask, and your realtor can make sure they get it so that you can see it in black and white. You may also, at this point, when you look at it, if you're really in love with that building, you may renegotiate with the seller to work in what this assessment is going to be in your purchase price. If you are financing, that can also be another challenge. All condominium associations must fill out a questionnaire for a lender, which is very detailed, and I will tell you, most associations despise having to do these. But if at all possible, paying cash is always the better option. But if you're still moving forward with financing, many lending institutions want 70% down. Yes, you heard that right. 70% down if reserves are not fully funded. Plus, the HOA fee is factored into your loan for your loan to value, and it might disqualify you because the monthly debt ratio. So get that information up front before entering into the process and you've put money out for inspections or appraisals or anything else. Well, you're probably asking, if you happen to be the owner of one of these condos, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to tell you, yes, it will sell. There's always an opportunity to sell a property, but your ability to sell, I like to say, is where the dirt is located. So what does that mean? Well, if you're near the water, that dirt is very valuable. Then there's a pretty good possibility, if the building is in really bad shape, a developer will buy the entire building at a pretty good price, knock it down, and build beautiful condos, much more expensive, to sell to future buyers. So you might be very lucky. However, if the dirt is located not near the water or not as desirable, then you're not probably going to be as lucky. But don't stress, you will sell, and hopefully you have lived there for a while, you enjoyed the lower condo fees, and have some equity. You also need to know that you need to prepare when a buyer wants to obtain the information I just mentioned, that you have it accessible and easy for them to access. Knowing what is occurring allows you to make a good, solid decision whether you are buying or selling. And many buildings have already had the inspections and are actually in pretty good shape. But who knows? That could be the one that you have fallen in love with and you are really lucky. But since inspections are due at the end of 2024, until that inspection time ends, which right now currently I am doing this video in the middle of 23, it's sort of like the wild, wild west until the dust settles and you know exactly what you're getting into. It's all about having the condo association and the seller disclose. So please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And if you have any more questions, please comment below or reach out to me. I would be happy to answer them. This is a really big issue in Florida. I live near a barrier island and I'm very familiar with what must happen. So in the meantime, if you are house hunting, happy house hunting, and see you later.